Hi, and welcome to SVG's SportsTech On Demand video interviews. I'm Dan Daley, SVG's audio editor, and today we're speaking with Bob Boster, president at Clearcom. Hi, Bob. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm fine, actually. Where are you today? California?
So you're talking to me in my home. Actually, I've converted a corner of my living room in beautiful Martinez, California, which is not too far away from San Francisco.
All right, so you got good weather to go with anyway.
Yep, so far.
All right. Well,
I wish I was in Las Vegas, though. So that would be weather might be better there.
That's true, and that's where we would be today had this not happened.
Yeah.
But speaking of the NAB that didn't happen, what would we have seen in Las Vegas from Clearcom that's new this year?
Sure. Well, it's a disappointment to us not to have a chance to launch a couple of these exciting new products that we've got at the show. The biggest and most important of which I think is our FreeSpeak Edge product. We initially kicked off FreeSpeak Edge last year at IBC, but we're coming up on the launch, and we were looking forward to celebrating the launch of the product. It's an expansion of our popular FreeSpeak 2 family, now expanding into a new frequency area and a new footprint, a new form factor with a new belt pack, a new transceiver. New frequency area being 5 gigahertz. I think the market has demonstrated that there's a lot of need for a lot of wireless, and as many different available frequencies as possible is going to give people the best chance of solving their problems. So FreeSpeak Edge is the first wireless intercom in 5 gigahertz, and we think a very exciting, let's say, professional level or advanced level solution for a lot of people who are going to need the product in especially complex RF environments and RF environments where there's, let's say, a lot of multipath, or the possibility of a lot of multipath, like stadiums and arenas, some other kinds of specialized events where maybe there's a very high ceiling, like convention center. Some of those kinds of areas will be very well served by FreeSpeak Edge's new RF strategy, which basically allows for using multipath as a way to reinforce signal as opposed to having it be a source of interference.
Mm-hmm. Those are some of the advantages for 5 gigahertz. Anything else?
Well, FreeSpeak Edge is the highest audio quality in any of the digital wireless intercoms. So at 12 kilohertz audio, it's going to really satisfy the golden ears amongst us. It also has a lot of control opportunities. It's effectively an 8-button belt pack. So for people who really need almost like a keypad on your hip, this really provides a lot more control with 4 volume level controls that can be assigned across those buttons, as well as a master volume level overall. It's really a very sophisticated tool. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to be used at that level of like sort of all the control wide open. You can lock it down and configure it as per a user's requirements, right? You don't want to necessarily everyone in your crew doesn't necessarily need 8 buttons on their intercom. But for the people who do, it's great. And it also could be configured to interoperate with the existing FreeSpeak 2 belt packs at either 1.9 gigahertz or 2.4 gigahertz. So in the same system, in the same RF space, and using the same brain or base station or frame, you could have the same sort of heart to a system with all 3 frequencies being able to be used.
Gotcha. Also, I think the Eclipse HX version 12 was going to be with you at NAB this year. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So that's a couple pieces have driven that development. One of which is, of course, for a new version of like FreeSpeak Edge, we need a new software version to host it in. So that it's the mother release for FreeSpeak Edge, of course. It's also the place where we're implementing our first full implementation of SMPTE 2110-30. So we have had in the IPA card for IP audio card inside of Eclipse, we've had the capacity to do AS67 based operation, both for panels and also for transceivers in the FreeSpeak 2 system. What we didn't really have was all the glue bit of the SMPTE 2110/30 protocol to allow us to use the same card to interconnect with outside sources. In this version, we've deployed that. We've actually tested with a number of third-party systems, consoles, camera manufacturers, a number of other kinds of things that you might naturally connect an intercom to. And this will be a real advantage for people who are looking for a very slight, configuration with just an IP audio card to host their wireless, to host their panel, and to host their link to their outside audio console, all on one platform, as well as hosting our Agent IC mobile app, which is getting a lot of attention just now as a lot of people are moving into the work from home mode.
I wanted to ask you about that next. What are you hearing out there from your clients, from your customers, from your users about taking what is very high-end or mostly high-end intercom audio systems and applying them to basically a work-from-home environment?
Sure. So Agent IC is a very popular solution, and we've had good luck with it in the marketplace up to now. People are really like the mobile application. The user interface is very clean. Having the ability to use it out in the field for field production has been a really important use, as well as obviously for coordination and engineering use, that kind of thing. What we're really seeing now is a lot of people moving into a work from home mode need to integrate into their system. And actually, just like I am here now, I've got you on a tablet next to my laptop, and a lot of people are working from home with the task that they need to do their production work on their computer. It's quite elegant for them to have a mobile device that's set up on the side next to it to use for communications with all the buttons that they might have on a regular panel. So Agent IC can attach into the Eclipse frame through the IPA card, or through the legacy IVC32 card. Now also, it can also be used with third-party systems through the LQ box, which is basically an IP utility that we have. So if you happen to have somebody else's intercom at the center of your operation, but you still needed to support people working remotely, you could use LQ as your way to do that. In the last 3 weeks, we've had over 30 major broadcasters, both call letter TV stations, some sports broadcasters, some major national networks, and some major national networks of other countries all come to us to add Agent IC into their operation. And it's been very rewarding to see that a lot of people had sort of known about our IP capability in that way and really jumped on it in the last couple of weeks. It's clearly making a difference for people.
Maybe a strange question, but I'll ask anyway. Do you think the situation that we're in right now is actually kind of accelerating the progress of a lot of audio components in broadcast, like we're talking here, such as bringing products out maybe a bit sooner than they might have been brought to market?
I think maybe not necessarily on the engineering side from the product development standpoint. I think people who have been working in this direction for a long period of time, like us. I mean, we actually had our first IP products in the Clearcom family, either from Trilogy in 2003 or from Clearcom in 2006. So in both cases, we were very early into the IP game. But I think what's happened for us and for other people is that it's brought more of an attention to it, where people are like, oh, I need to solve this problem. Oh, I need to solve that problem. And I think these are driving some of the things forward. For sure. So definitely on the implementation side, not necessarily on the product development side. I think the work has already been underway for months or years in most cases.
Understood. Is there anything else, any other messages or communications or things you'd like to get across to the community while we have this chance here to wrap up?
Sure. Well, I know there are a lot of people who are following SVG, who are especially let's say problem solvers, engineers in the classical sense of, I need to solve a problem for somebody. And one of the challenges we're hearing about from a lot of different parts of the world is people having communication challenges within the treatment or response to COVID-19. We've created a new landing page on our website in response to this sort of overwhelming barrage of inquiries where people are trying to solve different problems, knowing that we have communication solutions. We sort of created like a community center space on our website, which you can go to Just look up ClearCom on Google and you'll find us, where you can join in to a community of people who are supplying solutions and sharing those solutions back and forth. So I know there's a lot of engineering brain power out there following this, and anyone who feels like they'd like to participate in solving some problems outside of the classical SVG space, but nonetheless in a way that's very important to all of us in the world, please, you're invited to join in the conversation. And there's a link on the addressing COVID-19 with ClearCom Communication Systems landing page. You can just hit the button, sign up, and you'll be in the conversation.
That's great. What we're doing here is really kind of engendering even more community because of the situation we're in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bob, thanks for taking the time today. Be safe, be healthy, and we'll see you soon.
You too, Dan, and everybody else out there.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.